Need a volunteer? Need a volunteer marshal, please. This is going to be a recurring theme all day, guys, with 5-car heats and less. I need somebody for the back corner. I need a volunteer marshal, please. Come on. Help me out. Somebody. A corner spot. Well, that may be tough, but all right, Jack's coming. Thank you very much, Jack. Oop, wrong thing. Wrong, stop. 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 There. I meant to do this one. The quad jet coming up. Hit the wrong button. All right. You guys are racing the clock and not each other. Roll them off on the tone. All right, 45 seconds in this one. We got Tanner Slover out front at 21:05 pace. That is ahead of the current TQ. Orlando on a 19:09 after a rough lap. Then Brandon, Tyler, Luke. Fast lap, Orlando a 14:44, Tanner a 14:48, Tyler 14:77, Brandon a 16:1, and Luke a 15:2. Orlando resetting fast lap with a 14:3 last time by. Luke a 15:2, Tyler a 14:5. It's Tanner, Orlando, Tyler, Luke, and Brandon. The pace 20:03, 2 seconds ahead of the TQ. Orlando's fast lap of 14:32. That is the fast lap of the race. Let's see what he gets this time by, a 14:7. Tanner with a 22-second lap, dropping him 3 seconds behind Orlando and down to a 19-lap pace. Orlando with a 14:5, now on a 20:09 pace. Ty with a 14:3 puts him in a third spot. 19:03 his pace, just past halfway. Three down, 2 to go. Ty Baker resets his personal best of 14:36. Orlando a 14:30. He's now slightly ahead of his first round TQ He being Orlando Martinez, comes by with a 14.5. Minute and a half left in this one. One to go. Orlando Martinez, 20.03 with an 8. That's 3 seconds faster than his first round TQ. Was that him? Nope, that was Ty. There's Orlando, 25.04. .30 seconds left. It's Orlando, Tanner, Tyler, Luke, and Brandon. Everybody kind of spread out in terms of the time between them on the clock. Master clock has expired.
Orlando Martinez
Orlando's done.
Luke Hart done.
Tanner is done.
Slover done.
Luke is done.
Tyler Baker
Tyler
done.
is done. Looking for Brandon Strand. Orlando takes it 25.05 with a 6. That is a new TQ.
Brandon Strand done. The race is
If we
completed.
can get a marshal on each end to grab a blower, we can blow the track off pretty quickly here. A marshal on each end to grab a blower.
Two minutes to the start of the race.
All right, I need marshals. I have Orlando out here. Tanner's out here. Brandon's out here. Luke is out here. Ty's out here. I need one volunteer. One volunteer, please. One volunteer. One volunteer for the bucket.
1 minute to the start of the race.
Thank you. All right, let's shut down the straightaway. Ken's not going to make this one. Austin, Matt, Dylan, Jackson. Brandon. All right, roll off in the order you are lined up to avoid mayhem on the tone. Austin Becker, 14-2. Dylan, a 14-5. Matt, a 15-0. Jackson, a 16-1. Matt, a 14-2. Moving up into the second spot. Austin, another 14-2, puts him on a 22-lap pace. Austin Becker, 21-502. Matt, 25-05. He's ahead of TQ as well. Dylan, 25-15. Jackson, 18-5-13. 2 down and 3 to go. That was your leader with a problem at the end of the six-pack. Two and a half down, 2.5 to go. Remember, this is qualifying. You are not racing each other, you're racing the clock. Our second place car, Matt McGee, comes by with a 14.9 on a 20.02 pace. Jackson just turned his best lap, a 15.1. Austin, 21.08. Matt, 20.02. Dylan, 20.13. 18.05 for Jackson. 1:45 left. That's your leader behind you, Jackson. There we go.
One minute left.
Into the final minute of this one. $21.10 the pace for Austin. 20 flat for Matt McGee. Both ahead of the current TQ. Dylan just turned a 14.1, his best lap of the race. 20 seconds left in this one. Second place car coming up on you, Jackson. Oh, your leader hung up on the six-pack. And then careens over the straightaway.
Matt McGee done. Jackson McKee done.
He's going to get his 21 lapper
done.
because he had completed 20 laps.
Little Perm done. The race
Austin
is
takes that, resets TQ. Matt also ahead of TQ. Then Dylan, Jackson, and Ken not making the start. You get the track blown off, and then need a couple volunteer marshals.
Two minutes to the start of the race.
I'm looking for a check from Dwight and marshals, please. Should have 4 out of the last race, and I'm going to need 2 volunteers. Ken Nichols not going to be making 17.5 for the rest of the week's or for the rest of the day. So I am going to change up the 17.5 heats next round, which will give us enough in each heat so that we have marshals. I got my racers checked in. I got the guys from the last race out here to marshal. I need 2 volunteers. Got a problem in the 6-pack. Oops, we got it marshaled. Okay, that's it. I got
1 minute to the start of the race.
3, 4. I need 2 volunteers. 2 volunteers. 2 volunteer marshals, please. 2 volunteer marshals, please. Come out and watch. Now I need 1 volunteer marshal. 1 volunteer marshal. Come out and watch the 2 mod buggies. Both of them completely white, hard to tell apart. Very, very involved paint schemes. I need another volunteer marshal, please. Another volunteer marshal, please. Another volunteer marshal, please, in the back on the double. In the back, let's shut down the straightaway. Let's shut down the straightaway. Get me a marshal in the back, please. Get me a marshal in the back. If not, Austin, I'll send you back there, and we're going to make do. All right. Let's, okay, I'll roll them off in the order we got. Nick, a 12.8 on the first lap. It's an 8.0 on the top of it. Now 12.82. He's on a 24.09 pace. Jack Foster currently ahead in the 17.5 class on a 20.04. Go an 18-second lap, drops Jack to a 19-lap pace. Got time to make that up. 14.7 for Jack. 19 flat now. Now Jack back on a 20 lapper, but it's a 2014. Nick 24.10 for his pace. Stevie a 13.0. He's got a 12.97 fast lap. 14.5 fast lap for Jason, 16.6 for Dwight. 20.11 pace for Jack Foster. Right behind you, Tanner. Nick 12.77. Uh, 12.8. He's on a 23.02 pace. 2.5 down, 2.5 to go. Oh. Nick with 2 bobbles in the length of the straightaway. Led to a 15-second lap. Stevie just turned a 12.8, his best. Nick with a 12.69, best lap of the race. Made up a little bit for that 15-second lap. Coming up on the minute mark. Jason has taken over the top spot in 17.5 in this heat on a 25.15 pace.
1 minute left.
It's Jason, Jack, Dwight, then Nick and Stevie. Another 12.69 for Nick. Jason, a 14.28, his best lap of the race. 25.12 is his pace. Master clock has expired. Stevie ran a 12.4 the last time by. Now a 13.3.
Nick
Keep
Gibson
going until it
done.
calls you done.
Jack
Nick
Foster
is done.
done.
Jack is done. Waiting on everyone else to finish.
Stevie
Stevie's
Slover
done with a 21.12.
Dwight Soul's done.
Jason's done
Jason
with a
McLaren
25.14.
done.
Jack ends up with a
The
19
race
flat.
is completed.
Dwight a 16.10. Nick that 23.04. Stevie a 21.12. Get the track blown off here. And run 21.5. Two-wheel drive buggy. Get those racers and one volunteer back out here to Marshall, please.
2 minutes to the start of the race.
Bum, 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 bum. Let's see. I got my racers checked in. I need more marshals. More marshals. More marshals. More marshals. Looking for. All right. Thank you, Jack. Although this time isn't a volunteer, but Jack always willing to volunteer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need one more, please. One more marshal, please.
1 minute to the start
I see
of the
Ty
race.
Baker's coming out. Up in the back. Thank you. All right. You guys are racing the clock and not each other. We're still qualifying. Roll them off on the tone. Jeff in 18.6, Luca in 18.9. Bain at 27. Dave Strand at 16.2. Luke Haas taking the lead for a moment. A 17.06 pace. Dave Strand comes back with a 17.2, takes the lead with a 17.02 pace. Jeff Porter on a 17.08 pace. Top three all running on a 17 lap pace here. Dave down to a 16.0, bumps his pace to 18.12. Jeff a 16.59. Luke turns fastest lap of the race at 15.7. It's Dave, Luke, and Jeff. Two and a half down, 2.5 to go. Luke Haas moving up to the top, 18.5.13. Dave, 17.05. Jeff Porter, 17.10. And Bain, 12.06. Not like it's going to matter. Coming up on 1.5 to go. Bain turning his best lap at 21.2.
1 minute left.
Dave Strand taking over the top spot now from Luke Hawes. .15 seconds left. 17 flat for Dave Strand. He's the leader. Not going to beat his first round TQ, it looks like.
Jeff Porter done. Bain Solis done.
Looking for Luke and Dave.
Luke Haas done. Dave Strand done.
And Dave Strand is done.
The race is completed.
Dave takes it 17.05. Luke 17.09. Jeff 16.05 and 11.01 for Bain. Race number 5. 13.5 Stadium Truck is up next. Ken Nickel, Brandon Strand, Dave Strand. Need the racers from the last race out to Marshall, and I'm going to need volunteers. Funny. I'm going to need volunteers. That's unusual. Nope.
Two minutes to the start of the race. One minute to the start of the race.
Oh, let's see. I'm still looking for marshals. I need 3 volunteers. Looks like 3 volunteers. Thank you, Mr. Baker. Baker. I need 2 more. 2 more. Robert, thank you. Tell you what, Why don't you take the corner in the back, Robert? Luke, take the bucket, and we're going to go with that. If you would, please. All right, let's shut down the straightaway. Line them up. We're going to go off in the order you're lined up. On its own.
Kenneth Nickel, Brandon Strand, Dave Strand.
Brandon Strand, fast lap at a 17.7. Buddy backed it up with a 26-second lap. Ken a 17.9. Dave a 20. Now Dave an 18.9. A little bit of trouble in the six-pack. Getting it back sorted away. Your leader, Ken Nickel, coming around with a 17.2. Best lap of the race by anyone. Brandon Strand shatters that with a 16.1. One down, 4 to go. 17.13 the pace. Bit ahead of the first round TQ. 17.10. New best lap for Ken. Ken with some trouble there. Dave turned an 18.8, his best so far. Nah, I've seen better. You know, you're going to try to ride the rail. 2.5 down, 2.5 to go. It's Ken, Brandon, and Dave. Ken and Brandon getting together in the six-pack. Looks like Dave continues to work on trying to get style points. They started a straightaway. Brandon inherits the lead there with a 16 flat pace. Now 17-14. Ken just turned a 16.3, his best lap of the race. 1:40 to go. 16.003 for Brandon. Best lap of the race by, oh no, Ken Nickel with a 15.7 on the same lap to take best lap honors. Dave with trouble in his six-pack, 1:20 to go. Brandon on a 17.508 TQ pace, 2 seconds ahead of Ken Nickel.
One minute left.
.45 seconds left. Brandon with a 22-second lap, but he hangs on to the lead. 17:10 pace with 30 seconds to go. Ten seconds left. Brandon Strand with a 20-second. No, keep going.
Brandon Strand done.
Brandon is done and resets TQ, 17:08.
Kenneth Nickel done.
Ken is done.
Dave Strand done.
Wrong way, Dave decides
The race
to
is completed.
end it. I get those guys back out to Marshall and maybe somebody grab a blower at each end, and we'll get our 13.5 heat going. I'm going to need marshals. Ty, pray for this one. All right, I need volunteers. Ty, you can come back.
Two minutes to the start of the race.
Robert, bring yours down here, and we'll take Matt's back up that end because Matt's got a full battery. No, all right, never mind. Okay. All right, I need marshals. In the six-pack, we got to pile up. Need at least one more marshal, please.
1 minute to the start of the race.
Need at least one more marshal, please. Tie in the back, thank you. Looking for checks from Robert in Orlando. Robert was just blowing the track off, so give him a minute. See what's up with Orlando. You gonna make it? Then we're gonna go. All right, let's shut down the straightaway. All right, we're going to roll them off in the order you're lined up. Dylan Becker with the lead. Had to say that quick so that we could get him while he was out front. Dennis Keith took the lead, but then had trouble in the six-pack. Becker with fast lap of the race. Whoops. A 14.2 had dropped off the top spot and now is back on. Let's see. Dennis Keith with, oh no, Austin Smith takes fast lap 13.5. Dennis 14.1. Becker 14.2. Austin now taking over the top spot on a 25.08 pace. Becker 19.10. Dennis 18 flat. Then Jackson, Jack, Luke, and Robert. Robert just turned a 16.2, his best lap. Jackson a 15.2. Watch it in the six-pack, watch it in the six-pack. Two and a half down, 2.5 to go. Austin, Dylan, Jackson, Jack, Dennis, Robert, and Luke. Three down, 2 to go. Watch it at the end of the six-pack and the beginning of the straightaway. Austin Smith, new fast lap, 13.36. Jack turned his best lap of 14.7. It's 21.511 pace for Austin Smith. He's leading this heat, but behind his first round TQ. Then Dylan, Jack, Robert, Dennis, Jackson, and Luke. Minute and a half to go. Becker into the 13s with a 13.99. Oh, Dennis and Dylan getting together. D&D.
One minute left.
Robert with a 14.9, his best lap of the race. .40 seconds left. Oh, out of the park onto the straightaway. Dennis with a hit into the wall. Oh, 14.4 new or fast lap for Jack Foster. 14.2 after that 14.4.
Little perm done.
Looks like Dennis is broke. Watch it at the end of
Jackson
the six-pack.
done. Dylan
Master
Becker
clock
done.
has expired. Everybody's going to finish here.
Jack Foster done.
Ouch.
Robert Summers done. Luke Hart done.
All right, so like we've been saying this on this layout since the jam.
The race
Don't
is completed.
stop immediately after the start-finish line. Continue your lap around. Cars are coming down hot. If you spin right around and come back, there's a good chance you're going to create a pileup, and it'll be a nasty one. So continue on around. Race number 7, last race of round 2 coming up. Ken, Bain, Jason, and Dwight. Need marshals from the, or racers from the last race out to marshal. Once again, I'm going to reorganize heats, kind of a resort. Ahead of round 3.
Two minutes to the start of the race.
And that's why I sell out of SC6 bumpers.
One minute to the start of the race.
Jason, you can make it? All right, this is what we're going to have for racers, so let's shut down the straightaway, line them up. All right. As we've been doing, you guys are going to be racing the clock and not each other. Roll off on the tone.
Kenneth Nickel, Bain Solis, Jason McLaren, White Souls.
Ken with fast lap at 17.0, Dwight at 18.2, Bain at 29.6. We got 3.5 minutes left in this one. Dwight just turned to 17.3, his best lap of the race. Ken answers with a 17.3. Ken with it. Ken with a 15.9. So 18.516 is the pace for Ken. Dwight on a 16.14, Bain on a 10.13. Ken just turned a 15.95. Backed up by a 16.1. Minute 10 to go.
One minute left.
$35 seconds. Master clock expired. You'll finish when you get here. Bain is done.
Solis
Don't
done.
stop. Don't
White Solis
stop at the end of the straightaway.
Kenneth Nickel
Thank
done.
you.
The
All
race is
right,
completed.
that completes it. You're going to blow that off for me.